What's up, everybody? My name is Dana Harris with Young Gurus Math Tutoring, and I'm here to bring you some more math jewels. Today I'm going to be talking about solving equations using addition and subtraction. So these particular equations are just going to be one-step equations, so let's go ahead and get into the examples. Alright, in example 1, I have t minus 7 equals negative 6. Alright, now when we're solving an equation, our goal is to get the variable by itself. So in order to get the variable by itself, we need to move everything else that is on the side of the equal sign with the variable to the opposite side. So in this case, we have minus 7. So we have t minus 7. If we want to get t by itself, the opposite of subtracting 7 is to add 7. And the addition property of equality tells us that if I add 7 to both sides, then that equation remains balanced. Alright? So in this case, if I have the letter t, or whatever number t represents, and I subtract 7 from that, and then I add 7 to that, these two values are opposites. So they're going to equal 0 if I take negative 7 plus 7, or if I have some number and I take away 7 and then I add 7, it's just like that 0. So I'm going to bring the t down, alright? And then here I have negative 6 plus 7. Notice, negative 6 plus 7 is equal to 1. So t is equal to 1. Now, the good thing about solving equations is that we can always check our answer, but I'll get into that at the very end of this video. So let's go to another example. And in example 2, I want to use x plus 3.4 is equal to 5/10. All right. Now, in this case, I still want to get x by itself. Well, the opposite of adding 3.4 to some number is subtracting 3.4. And so as long as I subtract 3.4 from both sides, then this equation also remains balanced. Okay? So these two values are opposites. So they're going to actually cancel, or they actually add together to equal 0. So I just bring down my x, and x is equal to 5/10 minus 3 and 4/10 is actually negative 2 and 9/10, or negative 2.9. So our actual solution would be negative 2.9. And once again, we can actually put this in. If I do negative 2.9 plus 3.4, I will get 0.5. Let's do another one. All right. In this example, we're going to take p minus 2 pi, and it is equal to 3 pi. Now, I wanted to use this example because pi actually represents a value. So in actuality, we're solving for p, all right? And in order to solve for p, we need to move this pi term to the opposite side. So the opposite of subtracting 2 pi is adding 2 pi, all right? So if I take and add 2 pi, I add 2 pi there, then here the minus 2 pi and the plus 2 pi cancel out. Once again, this is the addition property of equality, and I bring down my p, so those cancel. P is equal to 3 pi plus 2 pi is equal to 5 pi. All right, so P is equal to 5 pi. All right, and one last example, just to bring it home. We're going to use C minus 1/4 is equal to negative 1/2. All right. In order to get C by itself, we have to add 1/4 to both sides to keep it balanced. All right. So then these two cancel. C is equal to, if I have negative 1/2 plus 1/4, that's the same thing as having negative 2/4 plus 1/4, and I will get negative 1/4. All right. So always remember that as long as you do the same operation, if you add the same thing to both sides of the equation, it remains balanced. Or if you subtract the same thing from both sides of the equation, it remains balanced. Now, one thing that I quickly want to show you is that you can always check to see if your solution is correct. So, for example, if you solve an equation and you get a value for the answer, in this case I got t is equal to 1, all right, then I can always substitute my value for the variable that I get when I solve for it back into the original equation, and it should give me the same value on both sides. So for example, if I replace t with 1 and I say minus 7, and I always put a question mark above there like that just to make sure that I know that I'm trying to figure out, does what's on the left side of the equation equal what's on the right side of the equation? And 1 minus 7 is negative 6. And on the right side I have negative 6. And negative 6 is equal to negative 6. Remember, do me a big favor. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Continue watching these videos, as well as go to Instagram and follow me on @YG Math Tutoring, as well as on Facebook. Like my Facebook page, Young Gurus Math Tutoring. Remember, I've got the solution to your math problems.